Hey there, and welcome to another installment of Halloween Horror Spooktacular 2020. Hey moron, Halloween is over. What? Yeah, dumbass, it's almost Thanksgiving. It's holiday time. Time for food and family. Listen here, you little shit. Halloween isn't just a holiday, it's a feeling. And if I want to celebrate spooky, I'm gonna celebrate spooky. Whatever. Why don't you ever review something actually relevant and topical for once? The PS5 just came out. Talk about that. I don't even have a PS5. Well then talk about the original Demon Souls, you pretentious hipster fuck. At least that's sort of topical. I'm going to talk about what games I want to talk about. Fine, whatever. I'm out. This sketch wasn't funny and it's pretty cringe anyway. Alright, whatever. Anyways, on to Pumpkin Jack. Alright, so I know Halloween is over and we're getting ready for the holiday season now, but I said I would review this game. I want to talk about this game, and I think it deserves more attention. Besides, there's a level where you kill Santa Claus, so that counts as a holiday game, right? Anyways, Pumpkin Jack is an indie game developed by one person, Nicolas Meyssonnier, with some UI design help from Adrian Lucas and soundtrack composition from Johan Jaeger. This game was described as a mix of medieval and Jak and Daxter, and I think that's a pretty apt description. So I just want to start off, I absolutely love the PS2. I got a PS2 from my uncle when I was like 10 or so. I have so many fond memories staying up late on the weekend and waking up early before school to play games on the PS2. Playing a bunch of different games with my brother, cousins, and friends. There were so many classic games on that system. And if you asked me what my favorite single generation was, I would have to say it was the PS2. Many of my all-time favorite games are on that console. Needless to say, I have a soft spot for games of that era and new games that feel like they came from that era. And Pumpkin Jack feels like a PS2 game in the best way possible. If this game came out back then, it would have undoubtedly been one of my favorite games. So I guess I'm starting this review with the end. Pumpkin Jack is awesome. I love this game and I definitely recommend you go out and play it, but what makes it so enjoyable? Well, glad you asked. In Pumpkin Jack, you play as the villain. You control the titular Jack, a pumpkin-headed undead individual summoned by the devil himself. The devil wants to doom all humanity and fill the earth with monsters, and unfortunately, a powerful wizard stands in the way, acting as the humans' champion and stopping the forces of evil. The devil tasks Jack with killing the wizard so that evil monsters can take over. Pumpkin Jack is an old-school action platforming kind of game. Like the description said, expect something akin to Jak and Daxter. Admittedly, I thought this game was going to be a little bit more technical with its action system. I thought it was going to be something more like Devil May Cry with fast-paced attacks, weapon switching, and complex combos. It's not. At all. Combat is very simple, with one-button inputs performing a simple string of attacks. Rolling while attacking gives you a separate attack, and jumping while attacking gives you a jump attack. That's it. No combos or complex combat mechanics other than attack, roll, and jump. There are a handful of weapons you can unlock and use, but it isn't really viable to switch in the middle of combat, so I mostly found myself using just whatever new weapon I got for the entirety of the next level. My favorite weapons were the rifle, which gives you a little bit of range and shoots in this kind of burst, and the scythe, which gives you a powerful spinning attack that can be used against multiple enemies around you. But yeah, it's a very old school 1 to 3 hit button mashing combo kind of dealie with the combat. It reminds me of other action platformers from the PS2 era like Sly Cooper or iNinja or Jak and Daxter or something. You also have a Crow Companion, which can be used as a sort of ranged attack as well. This attack is slow and kind of weak, but it's useful for damaging enemies at afar, knocking over bridges, or even stunning some enemies like these Christmas trees. In addition to combat, every level has platforming sections needed to advance. There's also a collectathon element where you need to find these gramophones and crow skulls. The gramophones don't really do anything other than giving you a reason to explore the map a little and giving you a funny dance scene to watch. The crow skulls can be used as currency to buy new skins from the shopkeeper. Every level has 20 skulls and 1 gramophone. The platforming admittedly feels a little stiff when starting the game. Certain jumps will feel a little odd to make, but by the end of the game it felt perfectly fine to me, and I was able to complete the platforming sections with ease. You just need to kind of get used to it, and then it's not bad at all. The skins you unlock are all pretty fun as well, with things like a detective coat, samurai cloak, skeleton body, and crow armor. Of these, my favorites were the detective coat and the crow armor, but I think all of them have charm and appeal. My only complaint regarding the skins is that you need all the crow skulls to get the last skin, so depending on which one you decide to unlock last, you won't be able to wear it for very long, only during the final boss fight. You can always replay levels, but since you need all the crow skulls to unlock that skin anyway, there really isn't much incentive to do so other than to just have some fun. Every level also has an on-rails segment, where you need to ride a different vehicle avoiding enemies and hazards. I liked most of these. They broke up the levels a bit and provided a fun little minigame kind of thing to get to the next part of the level. Some of them were a little annoying though, like this kart race one. Needing to mash A the whole time kind of got tedious, especially because I failed right at the end and needed to do it all over again. But as a whole, I liked these segments. Every level also has a minigame part where Jack takes his head off and you need to crawl around as just a pumpkin and perform different tasks. Again, most of these are pretty fun. I liked the little platforming puzzle or this Simon Says music puzzle. I didn't like the one where you had to throw presents back at Santa though. This minigame was just so unintuitive. It's really hard to aim the presents, you often hit 2 at a time with your spin. You have this short window to hit them back before the target changes. It's just annoying. And the progress bar goes down if you hit multiple packages or miss your target. It took me forever to do this, and you need to do it 2 different times. So fucking tedious. But aside from that one puzzle, I liked these sections as well. The game has boss fights too, 1 for every level. These bosses are all fun to fight, requiring you to figure out a basic pattern or figuring out a gimmick. For example, this boss required you to hit bombs back at its eyes. You had to make this boss run into walls, etc. I did have an issue with this boss though. At one point, he wouldn't stop performing this attack. I literally ran around for like 5 minutes and he never stopped attacking, which was weird. So I let him kill me, I respawned, and sure enough, he was behaving normally again. Other than this, my experience was bug-free, and I never crashed or had anything weird happen. That said, there is a part where you need to use up crow skulls to get to the next part of the level. The skulls are taken from your inventory and the number goes down, but the game doesn't tell you that it isn't actually taking them away from your total. So if you're freaking out wondering where these last 5 skulls are, you got them. Don't worry. The achievement should pop anyways, signifying that you collected them all, but if you exit and check out the shop, you'll have enough skulls for the last skin. I think one of the best elements, and probably the thing attracting most people to this game in the first place, is the presentation. This game gets a 10 out of 10 pumpkins for its presentation. Graphically, the game is kind of basic, with cartoony and stylized but simple 3D models and textures. It definitely has the look of a high-quality PS2 game, but with better resolutions. But from an art direction and design perspective, like I said, 10 out of 10. Everything just looks so whimsical and Halloween festive. It's so fun, it's spooky and cartoony, and I just love the aesthetic. I love the vibrant colors, each level giving a different color of blues and purples and greens that just fit this dark and spooky vibe very well. Every level has a sort of horror trope as well, with the first level acting as sort of a cornstalk big field and then giving way to haunted mines, spooky swamps, old castles, and a Christmas town. Alright, the last one doesn't really fit Halloween, but I still like it. There is some creativity to the level design as well, like these booby-trapped woods. Needing to pay attention to where the crows were nesting really made this part stick out to me. And this cathedral part, I really liked the design of the cathedral spirit, but I also liked seeing the cathedral itself being worked on as you platformed on top of it. Or these boat parts, where you need to jump from boat to boat or race across land to get back to it. They just help the levels feel more alive and unique. All the enemy designs fit the theme as well. The game explains that the mindless monsters can't tell the difference between you and the humans, even though you're on the same team, because, well, they're stupid. So you'll fight skeletons, bats, ghosts, gargoyles, but also fight human soldiers as well. These parts where you need to push explosive minecarts were fun as you fought soldiers from behind cover to avoid taking hits from enemy ballistas. I love Pumpkin Jack's design. He's a grumpy scarecrow looking guy with a pumpkin head. He just looks really cool, and I like the way he walks around on his vines when in the head puzzle segments. Jack is a total asshole too, insulting other characters, reluctantly doing favors, and refusing to pay the use for the ferry. He's just a really fun character, and I enjoyed reading his banter. All the characters were fun, honestly, and they interact with each other in unique and fun ways.
Blah. 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 Blah.
And the music is so good. It fits the world and events that transpire perfectly. The best way I can describe it is, again, whimsical. It's just the perfect soundtrack for a magical Halloween fantasy world with catchy, spooky melodies and great use of synths, chimes, organs, harpsichord, and even xylophone. A lot of it even reminds me of something Grant Kirkhope. It's just really great stuff, and I was really enjoying listening to it while playing. Here's some quick examples. Love it. I enjoyed how the story is conveyed as well. So before every level there is a cutscene in which a narrator will describe some events that transpired with still images of Jack doing things on the pages of a book. I like this. This method of storytelling works very well. Then in the actual level, all the dialogue is done through text boxes. Characters will stand in place, make some sort of sound effects simulating their voice, and then you have to read a text box. This is very old school in its effect. It's something I definitely would have seen in the PS2 era. Though I also wouldn't have complained if it was fully voice acted as well. You can skip the cutscenes by pressing and holding a button, so that's cool. And the text box segments can be quick skipply if you mash that button too. Overall, I really liked Pumpkin Jack. I keep using these words, but the best way to describe this game really is fun and whimsical. And honestly, fun is just about the best thing you can say about a game. Story may be a little flat or generic, and the combat may be a little bare bones comparatively, but the overall product of Pumpkin Jack is great in my opinion, featuring well-designed worlds, engaging gameplay, things to collect and find, entertaining dialogue, an amazing art direction, and incredible soundtrack. I can't recommend Pumpkin Jack enough. And honestly, it's really impressive that this game was made by, well, really one person. I finished the entire game 100%, including all skulls and gramophones, in about 7 hours, so it's not an incredibly long game, but I enjoyed all 7 of these hours, and I don't regret my purchase a bit. I hope to see more of Pumpkin Jack in the future, maybe with some more fleshed out combat or something, but I am seriously ready for a second Halloween now. Thank you all so much for watching this review. This is going to be my final full review for the year. I have a couple more videos to put out, the top 10 gaming fails of 2020 and the top 10 best games of 2020 lists, but I am done with full reviews for a bit. I'm going to just enjoy playing some games and get back to making full reviews next year. Please like and subscribe if you like this review. It helps us out a lot, and I hope you all have a wonderful second Halloween.